Yes, indeed, folks. Back on Blue Please with WoW Radio. I'm back. I was actually over there. So I've come back. You haven't. Hopefully you've stayed exactly where you were. I certainly hope so. Because if you went away from the speakers, away from the headphones, when Token of Time was playing, you're a girly girl. And for the females in the audience, yeah, listen to better music. You're still a girly girl. There. Right, we're back on with the Q&A, folks. If you are not reading this, then you're quite silly. Go to mmo-champion.com/index.php, topic equals 85973.0. Thanks! You know what? I'm going to fix MMO Champion's ridiculous URLs right now by using TinyURL, yes indeed. And I am going to call it the stupid FAQ. Make TinyURL. There we go. tinyurl.com/thestupidFAQ. Right, there you go. Easy way to get there instead of trying to decipher MMO Champion's crazy Enigma code. Right, we're going back to the Q&A, and we're about halfway down, so we are on to this particular question, which is, what is the breakdown for emblem drops in each Colosseum instance? And the response to this is quite simple. 2 emblems of triumph will be awarded for each... I did that. I've actually reloaded the page. That was a really stupid thing to do. So, yeah, there will be nothing awarded because I broke it. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. You go home empty-handed. Should have been better at the quiz, folks. Here we go. 2 emblems of triumph will be awarded for each encounter in the raid dungeons, while 1 champion seal and 1 emblem of conquest will be awarded for each encounter in the Trial of Champions. Heroic difficulty only. Okay, cool. Since we've been discussing the tribute system a bit here, can you go over how this new system for the 10-player and 25-man player heroic dungeons will work, including how to activate it and what kind of extra rewards players can receive? Finally, something useful! Let's see if they come up with anything that isn't a blatant dodge. Sure. Firstly, at least 1 player in the raid group has to have cleared Trial of the Crusader to unlock Trial of the Grand Crusader. Okay. Speaking to an NPC will do this. What? Speaking to an NPC will clear Trial of the Crusader? Will it? I think there's a reason why the dev team is not usually allowed to post on the forums, because they say the most ridiculous things. Oh dear. Yeah, let Ghostcrawler actually construct it into something that makes sense these days. So yeah, it's official, folks. You heard it first on Blue Please. All you're going to have to do, and this is thanks to the casuals ruining the game, in order to clear the entirety of the normal mode of Trial of the Crusader, is talk to an NPC. Yes, indeed, folks, if you're not good enough, all you need to do is click on an NPC, all of the loot will be delivered directly to your mailbox, distributed to your bank in a specific order, so that everyone in your group gets exactly what they require, and then that's it. Brilliant! Right, okay. Let's be slightly more serious. Players working through Trial of the Grand Crusader will automatically be working through a tribute run. A counter will be displayed in the interface monitoring the raid's performance by tracking unsuccessful attempts. A maximum of 50 unsuccessful attempts. 50? What? That's a lot of attempts will be allowed per week. Wait, wow. Hang on. I thought this was supposed to be the wonderful balancer. Yeah, it was the great equalizer. It's where the casual guilds and the hardcore guilds could actually compete for these things because, hey, the casuals could come out and prove that, yes, it doesn't matter how much time you've got, it's all down to skill. But no, 50 unsuccessful attempts will be allowed. How many times can you remember having 50 wipes? 50! Jeez! No casual guild can get any close to that. That's 5 repair bills, right? I mean, for instance, my repair bill is like 50 gold. So, 50 unsuccessful wipes, 250 gold repairs. 50 attempts. Let's do a little bit of math here, yeah? That's a lot of attempts. Wow. Okay, so we take into account a boss attempt maybe between, say, 2 to 5 minutes. We'll just say 5 minutes, yeah? 5 minutes for an attempt, okay? Plus another 5 minutes for getting back, rezzing up, and everything like that. So it's about 10 minutes, okay? 10 times 50 equals 500. Divided by 60. So that's 8 hours. 8 hours of raiding. And that's assuming that nothing else has been screwed up. It doesn't sound that many, but I don't know, that is quite a few. I expected it to be less, I'm going to be honest here. Because that's what it seemed to be. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's a lot of attempts. Anyway, let's have a look. A maximum of 50 unsuccessful attempts, yeah. If this number is reached, the encounters will no longer be accessible by the group until the instance resets during scheduled weekly maintenance. If the instance is cleared before hitting this limit, the raid will be awarded according to their performance during the tribute run. The items players can expect are good. That's really all there is to it. Okay. Fair enough. I'm alright with that. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. Now, what I would wonder is whether or not, say, if I wipe 49 times, and then I do another attempt and wipe 48 times, am I going to get better loot? Where's the distinction going to be? Is it maybe just going to be split down the middle? It's like 25 or less gets better loot, 25 or more doesn't? I don't know. How many distinctions are there going to be, and how many levels of items can we expect? That's what I would actually like to know. I mean, I'm going to be honest here, this Q&A is really lackluster. But that 50 unsuccessful attempts number, that's way more than I expected. It's a lot of scrubby wipes there, especially for the average guild. Right. Are there any particular ways in which the Colosseum encounters will be new and unique in comparison to previous encounters? Yeah, I would like to know that. Well, given that the Tribute Run system and new ways of executing normal and heroic difficulty settings have been added, we expect players will see a very different dynamic in the encounters. The Tribute system provides, for the first time, in raiding, a way of awarding players not simply based on what bosses were killed, but on how well the raid performed attempting each boss. Wrong! No, it doesn't! No, it doesn't! Remember back in the mists of time when at Blizzard you introduced a instance called Zolaman? Yeah! Remember back in the mists of time, Blizzard, when you introduced a concept that sounded very similar? What was it called again? Oh yes, Tribute Run! In Diamol! So yes, actually you've done it twice! Oh dear. They've got memories like fish, or murlocs in this case. They are not more than a fish, they are not more than a man. It scares me. Right. We don't want to go too far into fight mechanics. Oh no, please don't tell us that. But we expect players will see quite a few interesting new challenges. I give one example of those familiar with Magistus Terras back in the Burning Crusade. There will be an encounter similar to the Priestess Del Riza fight. This time it will be on a raid scale with many more foes against which players will square off. Oh, and crowd control effects will be subject to diminishing returns as well. So you have to manage your abilities wisely. That's cool. I'm alright with that, because the Priestess Del Riza fight was pretty awesome. Yeah, that's alright. Can't say I'm really thrilled by the concept of...
Not one, but two Jormungandr worms.
But at least I suppose they're introducing something interesting. Right. We've seen a great deal of mixed feedback about the design of Tier 9 sets available with the release of Crusaders Colosseum. Why did the community team actually say that, and then the question came up? I really don't know. I mean, you'd have thought they'd have tacked that onto the next question. What reasons led to the decision to develop PvE sets that differ between the Horde and the Alliance more so than they differ between classes and gear types, i.e. cloth, leather, mail, or plate? And is this a new set design philosophy that players should expect going forward? We wanted to do things a little differently this time around, though it's not entirely unlike the way we approach designing set pieces for Sunwell and Anchorage, and not a fundamental change in artistic direction we plan to stick with every time a new tier of gear is released, thank God. In an ideal world, every class for each faction would have their own unique look and set design, but artistic tasks like that aren't always feasible given our development schedule. Well, no, I imagine they aren't, when like 80% of your development staff are off developing the next-gen MMO. It's called hire more artists, guys. In the context of the Argent tournament, impending struggle for the Lich King, we felt it would be cool this time around to offer unique looks for the Horde and the Alliance. Well, yeah, it is cool. The problem is you're offering less unique looks for the Horde and the Alliance. Therein lies the problem. Like, I don't care about seeing the other side. I never see them. Maybe outside an instance if I'm lucky, for like 5 seconds. I don't care about that. I just care about every one of my bloody factions going to look exactly the same, particularly cloth users. Ugh, dear lord. Now, in the context of the Argent tournament, we felt it'd be cool, and as we get closer to the invasion of Icecrown Citadel, players are noticing that there's more tension building between leaders of the Horde and the Alliance. We want the gear the factions are wearing to represent that as the Horde and the Alliance struggle for domination over the Lich King and ultimately over the world. What? That doesn't make any sense. So, wearing a different set of armor symbolizes the struggle between the Horde and the... What? In what planet, in what universe does that actually make any sense? It's okay to throw out all these platitudes and stuff like that, but let's be brutally honest here, okay? Yes, in an ideal world, we'd have had Horde and Alliance specific sets, and they would have covered all the classes, not just the 4 armor types. Yeah? So we're dodging the question here. We're being a little bit apologetic for the fact that, yes, actually, the artists were a little bit more lazy this time around. Now, I don't object to most of the armor sets. I think they're very well done. I think the art team's done a stellar job. The problem is that they didn't do enough of them. They did a really good job with the Old Dwarf stuff. I mean, that stuff looked great. So what's the problem? Why can't we just have more sets? I don't get it. Oh well. The Argent Tournament, quote, and Crusaders Colosseum feel like great avenues to further distinguish the two factions. What? No. They're PvE. That's not a way to distinguish the factions at all. They're doing the same encounters. At least as far as we know. I think there's a couple of different ones, but most of them are pretty much identical. How is that distinguishing anything? I mean, what benefit are they going to get? That's the question. You know, I remember a thing in Warhammer Online, yeah, where you would fight over a PvP zone, and it would give access to early access to a PvE zone. Yep, kind of like VOA, only not terrible. And the faction that won got to go into the PvE dungeon, but they only got a certain amount of time in there, and after a certain amount of time had elapsed, the other faction could go in there as well and try and kill them. Now that would be a great way of introducing a bit of faction combat. That would be awesome. Get them involved in some way that way, but no, I'm sorry, it doesn't mean anything. It's totally meaningless. What are they competing over? They're not competing at all. It just seems pointless. I don't get it. Oh dear. Right, anyway, finally, and it's all too often asked, how are players really supposed to deal with...
Not one, but 2 Jormungandr worms.
Yes. Thanks, Blizz, you perpetuate the stupid meme that I shouldn't have ever started. Oh dear. I'm sorry, guys. Not really, I find it hilarious. We can always hotfix one of them out if things get too crazy for players. We put in a special achievement related to this as well, so hop to it. Okay, there's a special achievement dedicated to not 1 but 2 Jormungandr worms. Oh. We can expect the next instance to have not 4 but 8 Jormungandr worms. Honestly. Now, the rest of the stuff is about the new battleground. I'm not going to cover it, I'll be honest. Except for the final one, which is what is the possibility of attaining a pony from either of these valorous endeavours? No ponies, but there might just be an Argent Warhorse out there somewhere. Good luck. Why don't you just give us a pony? Ghostcrawler promised us a damn pony! Why can't we have one? You're evil. Blizzard, you're horrible. You're mean and unreasonable. That's your problem. There. My name is Total Biscuit. You are listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. I'll be right back after the break with the elusive choice. You've got a couple of minutes to submit if you are very, very quick indeed. I certainly hope you are, because if you're not, you ain't getting anywhere. Time for some more epic, folks. You will enjoy this. Yes, you will.